Welcome into HouseOfSparky.com. I'm Bailey O'Carroll, joined by Josiah Destin, co-editor of HouseOfSparky.com. Josiah, ASU, they're back on the road this week. They're heading up to Corvallis against Oregon State. This game, Oregon State, for lack of a better term, just isn't great this season. But they have, when they played Stanford, they kind of gave them a run for their money. Can we expect this against ASU?
Yeah, they're not great. They've played 10 games, and they've lost 9 of them. One win against FCS Portland State, Bailey, come on. But no, when you do look at that, they lost by 1 point at home against a very good Stanford team who was without Bryce Love. They did lose by just 3 points against Colorado at home. ASU, they're playing them at home. So, I mean, this Oregon State team is a team who could do some damage at home, and they had 569 yards of total offense against Colorado at home. That was almost 200 yards more than the Buffaloes. So this is a team who could definitely put up some yards, and like we're going to talk about later, that run game is something that Oregon State can use to its advantage against a shaky Sun Devil defense at times. I don't think that this is a game ASU should have much trouble in, but Oregon State, like any team in the Pac-12, can beat any team in the Pac-12.
And like you said, that run game, let's talk about that a little more. Oregon State is pretty reliant on that run game, but it's still not great. What can ASU's defense to kind of do to shut that down?
Yeah, Ryan Nall, he's the number 8 rusher in the Pac-12, and that's pretty good. That's better than Kalen Balaj and Demario Richard. But ASU, they've faced the top 3 running backs in the nation, and they've actually held one of those guys, Philip Lindsay, to just around 80 yards, even though guys like Rashad Penny, Ronald Jones had huge games against the Sun Devils. Ryan Nall, he's not as great as those guys. The entire offense runs around him, and they're very one-dimensional, Bailey. UCLA had nearly or more than 200 yards of rushing against Arizona State. That's because they were two-dimensional. They can use Josh Rosen on the pass. When they don't expect it, they brought it to the run game, but they know Oregon State's going to run the ball. So if you just get the guy up front, don't let him get behind you and make big plays, that's really where Arizona State's going to do well against Oregon State.
And is this game a must-win for Arizona State?
I'd say it is. I mean, it's also a must game for Todd Graham if you want to talk about his future. But for Arizona State in particular, you need that confidence going up against Arizona at home, big-time rivalry game. And it's going to be a day game, so that's a big one. But, I mean, just up against Oregon State on their turf, it's a must-win because it's going to look fairly embarrassing if you lose to a team who's won 1 game in 10 all season.
Right, and you mentioned Todd Graham. If this team goes to Corvallis and Arizona State does not come back with a victory, does Todd Graham get put back on the hot seat?
Bailey, with the schedule before the season, in 12 games, I thought if they win at least 5, Todd Graham, his seat is very warm. It's more than lukewarm, but he's going to stay here at Arizona State. They're not going to pull the plug. But now that Oregon State's 1-9, I mean, that's a little different. I don't think this is a game Todd Graham can afford to lose.
All right, and then predictions, who's going to win, and what score do you think is going to be the ending score?
Yeah, I think it'll be somewhat close. I don't think Arizona State will really blow them out. They haven't blown out any team much this season. They beat Utah by 20 points, but, no more than 3 touchdowns. I think that they'll beat Oregon State by two scores. Let's say 35-21.
All right, relatively close in Corvallis. We'll have to see what happens. Be sure to tune back into HouseOfSparky.com on Saturday for all of your post-game coverage. For Josiah Destin, I'm Bailey O'Carroll. Thanks for watching.